I made a mistake. This will actually be part 4, and this will be, of course, for my comedy movie collection. We're gonna start off with Step Brothers, with, of course, Will Ferrell, and of course John Christopher Riley. Of course, this movie is super, super funny. I remember hearing back in school. I think it was probably my freshman. Actually, probably not even my freshman. I think it was like my sophomore or junior year. I think it was my sophomore year. I remember hearing from the jocks, all they could do was talk about Step Brothers, and I had no clue what it was until one day, if I'm correct, I forgot who I got this shown by, this movie, like who showed me this movie. I think I just, like, one of these days, I ended up just buying it just to see how funny it was, and of course, you can't go wrong with literally Will Ferrell and John Christopher Riley. Like, these dudes are, like, the funniest dudes ever, and they've done some, like, other funny movies. But there's just something about this movie when literally it's called Step Brothers. And it's so funny because there are these middle-aged men living with their father, living with, his mother. And they come together, and, his father and his mother get together. And they literally have to move in, and they become Step Brothers. And it's the funniest shit. Like, so many iconic moments in this movie. There's a moment where, like Will Ferrell's character literally puts his balls on John's drum set, and it's just it's a funny ass movie. You cannot go wrong with this movie if you're wanting a comedic, funny movie. This is definitely it. There's just so many iconic lines, moments in this movie. It's just great. And everybody knows what Step Brothers is. I feel like it's just such a known Will Ferrell movie and John Christopher movie that, like, everybody knows what it is, and you just cannot go wrong with it. I watch this movie a lot, actually, when I'm feeling like I really want a funny comedy movie. This is actually on my highest list of comedy movies because I just love this movie. So this is definitely worth a watch. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely go check it out. It's super, super funny if you love Will Ferrell. And of course, also John Christopher Riley. So, another movie is Horrible Bosses. I remember my nephew Alex showed me this movie, Horrible Bosses. And I remember he was telling me the concept of, okay, they have horrible bosses and they get revenge on them. And it is super funny. The pranks that they pull on them and the revenge that they get on them. I really love the concept of this movie because it's such a unique concept. I've never, would have thought of. Is, we've all had some horrible bosses, whether we've had jobs and stuff. So it's such a cool way of doing it, because usually when you have a job, you probably will have a horrible boss in your life of having jobs. And I just love the concept of, they came up with a movie, how would you get revenge on a boss that is horrible? And I just love the concept of that. Or if you wanted to get revenge, you know what I mean? Like, they made a movie like, oh, you wish you could get revenge on your boss that's horrible? I just love that concept. So this is just a funny movie. I definitely recommend it. It's super, super funny. I don't feel like not many people know about Horrible Bosses. They even came up with a Horrible Bosses 2. I don't own it, unfortunately. But it's a really, really good movie, and I find it funny. So definitely worth a watch. That's for sure. And I think in the movie, I don't want to give it away for people that don't know, but like in the sequel, but it's really, really good. Definitely check out this movie. Of course, the third on the list is probably the best underrated comedy movie ever, Blades of Glory. I love this movie. You guys do not understand. Me and my sister literally have a tradition every Christmas Eve. Before Christmas Day, we watch this movie. She sleeps over, we watch this movie. This is the best, stupidest, funniest movie ever. Ever. I shit you not, this is the most slept on movie. And it got shitty on Rotten Tomatoes, but it doesn't matter. This movie is pure, funny, comedic, best comedy movie ever. It is so high up there on my... I could watch this movie so many times and laugh my ass off each time I watch it. Same with Step Brothers, but even this is better than Step Brothers, I think, in my opinion. Like, this is just gold. And again, it's Will Ferrell. And, of course, it's John... I think his name is Heder. And I just love them both. Dynamic duo. Kill it. I would love a Blades of Glory, a sequel. I would love a Blades of Glory 2, but unfortunately, I don't think it'll ever happen. But again, you never know. Who knows? There's a lot of movies that get sequels, and I feel like this movie should have got a sequel. I would kill to see a movie. I would kill to see the sequel. I would literally cry that day if we ever got a sequel to this. Like, me and my sister love this movie. I cannot stress it enough. I love this movie. It's great. Definitely go check it out if you've never seen this. You will cry of laughter. It's great. Okay, so the next on the list, of course, is Keanu. And again, I didn't put these in specific order on how like I would like save them. But of course, next on the list, of course, is Keanu. I love Keanu. This was a very creative way from Key and Peele. Like again, the two comedy, specialist gurus. Like they're great together. They're like the dynamic duo. And they've done some great things in their careers, whether it just be comedy skits that they do or movies that they've directed. I don't know if Key has directed anything, but I know Peele has. So, I don't know. But that's interesting to me. But this movie is great. And I think Keanu Reeves, if I'm correct, plays the cat in this movie. I think so, because it's called Keanu, and I think it's the cat. Like Keanu Reeves plays the cat. But either way, this movie is great. I laughed my ass off when I saw this movie. Just the trailers got me laughing, and you can't go wrong with a movie like this. I would say this is very underrated, honestly. And I shit you not, like it got certified fresh, but like I still feel like this is an underrated movie. Not many people have seen. It's definitely worth a watch. It's a very funny movie, but it also has some like. It's just very funny. It's about like I don't even want to say what it's about because it's really funny and you guys just go check it out. It's just a very unique take on something, and I think you guys would enjoy it. Again, Keanu, it's really, really great. You can't go wrong with Key and Peele. Next on the list is Tag. I love this movie. I feel like this was very, very underrated. And this is actually based on a true story with friends. That's what I love too. It's based on a true story with friends that every year they play a game of tag. And it's really, really great. I love this movie. I love how they got, I love the cast of this movie. It's just great. Of course, you got Jeremy Renner. I'm terrible with names. You got the guy, you got Andy from The Office. You got Nick from, I think it's called, no, it's not what it's called. What is it called? I think it's called Jess, if I'm correct. Or no, that's not called Jess. It's called, I think that's what it's called. I don't know what it's called, but I'm blanking. But of course, you got Hobo Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse. Again, I'm terrible with names. And then the dude from Baby Driver, and of course, I forget what movies he's been. He's been in a lot of movies, but you know what I mean. This movie is funny. I've laughed my ass off multiple times in this movie. It's funny. It's cool. It's something that again, not many people I feel like saw in the theaters. But if you want to find new movies, this is definitely a funny movie, Tag. So it's definitely worth a watch. That's why I have it, because occasionally I will watch this movie, and I like the concept behind this movie too, because there was like a twist behind this movie that I really did I was sad about, but it was nice to see what the person did to get everybody together to do this game of tag. I don't want to give too much away, but it's really, really good. Going on, of course, with 21 Jump Street. I love this movie with Jonah Hill and, of course, Channing Tatum. It's really, really great. This was a movie that everybody knows, 21 Jump Street, and it's funny. It's cool. It's a bros movie, literally. It's like a broski movie. It's just so funny. I like this movie a lot. And I forget what age I was when I watched this movie. I might have been like 15, 16. But I love this movie. This was definitely a movie that I've quoted a lot of stuff from, around my nephews, and this was one of these movies that like we watched a lot together, and I just love this movie. It's a great movie, and I was excited when I found out there was going to be a sequel to 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street, and I remember this movie being super funny, but it's like an opposite version of 21 Jump Street. It's like they flip it around. In 21 Jump Street, it's I forget who it is. It's like I think it's Schmidt. I think if I'm correct, Schmidt was him and then Doug was him. Or Doug was him and Schmidt's him. I forget. I think Schmidt was him and then that was Doug. But then they switched it around in this movie where he became, I think, Schmidt and then that became Doug or something like that. I don't know. But like he had a better life in like when they pretended to be high schoolers than he did, he was like the jock in high school and he had a crappy life. They did like a switcheroo, and then they did it again in this movie where he had a better life but they were in college, and then he had a crappy life when whatever. It was like a weird switcheroo that they did, but I loved this sequel. Again, I feel like a lot of people didn't like this sequel at all, but I love the sequel to 21 Jump Street. The next thing we're going to go on to, Ferris Bueller. I would say it's a comedy movie, of course. I just love Ferris Bueller. It's so iconic. It's literally something you literally could, like, talk to your parents about, and they would know, of course, what Ferris Bueller's Day Off was. I remember I did not know what this movie was until my nephew told me what this movie was. Like, my nephew watched a lot of older comedy movies, and I remember him telling me this, and I loved this movie. It's so great. I watched this occasionally. It's like a very rare occasion when I want to watch it, but literally this was my life. I was Ferris. Like, that was my life. Like, me wanting to skip on school, me doing fake excuses on, like, giving him fake excuses to my teachers, and maybe I shouldn't be saying that and all that on here, but, like, I was totally Ferris Bueller. Like, me, like, not gonna lie, I've skipped school and all that stuff before, and I've done some things like that, like skip school and, like, give my, teachers fake notes and stuff, and I was Ferris Bueller. That's all I want to say. It's really great if you haven't seen it. It's super funny. So many iconic moments in this movie that we still talk today in pop culture. It's just great, this movie. I love this movie, and, I might watch it sometime soon, literally. I think I did these. Yeah, I did these already. What else? We're going to talk about Zombieland. Who has not watched Zombieland? Funny thing enough about Zombieland, I remember being told about Zombieland, and remember, I did not know what Zombieland was for the longest time. I think until I was the age of, like, 16. Then my friend told me we gotta sit down and watch Zombieland. Have you not seen it? And there's a lot of iconic lines from Zombieland that people know. And this was just one of those movies that, like, I think beats Walking Dead over. Like, you can't take zombies seriously, and I feel like this movie is so great. Like, literally. I love Zombieland. It's funny, especially there's a sequel that I'm shocked I don't own. I loved the sequel, and I don't own it, which I have to get at some point. But I just love Zombieland. I love the cast in Zombieland. I love, Emma Stone. I'm terrible with names, but, like, I love Woody Harrelson. I love Jesse Eisenberg. He's great. Especially, I love him in Social Network. If you haven't seen Social Network, it's a great movie. It's about the creator of Facebook. So I just love Jesse Eisenberg. He's done some great things. Emma Stone, of course, she's playing Gwen Stacy, and she's done some other great. She's been in Easy A, and she's done a lot of great things around her for her career, especially Cruella, which I don't own. I still need to get. I have the poster, but I don't have, like, the movie, which I'm shocked. I love that movie. I'd say that was her best performance she's ever done, but she's done great performances with every role she plays. And, of course, Abigail Breslin, I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Breslin. She's great in this too. She was great, especially in the sequel. It's like time did not pass with them when they did the sequel. It just felt right. It felt good. I feel like that's how you do a sequel, and they just killed it. I love this movie. It's so funny. There's so many iconic moments in this movie. It's just so great. Going on to Superbad. I love Superbad. Again, I love Jonah Hill. And again, I love, I forget again. I'm terrible with names, but I know him, of course, from Kick-Ass. He plays, the motherfucker in Kick-Ass. But I think his actual name in the movie, in Kick-Ass is something D'Amico or something. I forget. But he's great in this movie. Jonah Hill, of course, is great in this movie. And I know of him, of course, from Scott Pilgrim, which I love Scott Pilgrim. I think I actually own it on DVD somewhere. But I love Scott Pilgrim. I love Superbad. I love the such, like, a high school movie. Especially, like, what they were trying to go for in this movie is what a lot of boys, like, can imagine. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's such a boy movie. It's so good, though. I love this movie. Like, I watch it occasionally. Especially, who does, like, this is such an iconic movie where people know McLovin. That's people, like, McLovin's a meme. I have a McLovin shirt. There's just so many iconic moments from this movie. It's literally a movie that, like, everybody knows and everybody loves. I love Superbad. It's great. I watch this movie a lot. I would say a lot more than 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street, but that, like, those are those movies that I watch. I watch this movie, like, once every year, it seems like. I love this movie. And then we got Hot Tub Time Machine. I think this is the unrated one? I don't know. Unrated. Yeah, this has the unrated version in it. Yeah. Both. theatrical and unrated version. I love Hot Tub Time Machine. Again, this was just a movie I came across, and I love it. There's a lot of characters I know in here, of course, like the one friend from Kick-Ass, and of course some other people. Again, I can't name them off the top of my head. There's some great actors in here, and I love this movie. It's great, and I feel like everybody once in their life should watch Hot Tub Time Machine. The sequel was okay, but I love the first one a lot. Because also, for people that don't know, Sebastian Stan is in Hot Tub Time Machine. It's funny. It's really, really funny. I think if you haven't watched Hot Tub Time Machine, you should definitely give it a shot. It's really funny. And then, of course, we have Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. This was one of those movies that I think, came out in 2017, maybe 2016. And I remember me and my nephews wanted to see this movie so bad, and it's just so funny. This movie is so funny. And if you guys are thinking, how old's your nephews? Why are you taking them to this movie? And it's hard to explain, like, how do you have nephews? I mentioned it here on the channel before. I'm adopted. My parents had 3 biological kids, and they, of course, have families now. And, of course, they have my nephews are, like, I think, like, 17, 18 now and stuff. And, yeah. So, around the time where we saw these movies, they were probably, like, I want to say 14, 15 at the time, maybe. And we saw these movies. I mean, they were very grown up for their age. So, we saw these movies, but it was really good. I love Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. Of course, you have the guy from Pitch Perfect, and of course, you have Zac Efron, and of course, you have, well, I guess, yeah, Zac Efron, Anna Kendrick, and of course, you have Adam Devine, and of course, you have Amberry Plaza. I don't know how to say her name, but I just love these actors and actresses. They're great, and this was such a funny movie. And I love this movie. You should definitely check out this movie. It's something that's dumb, but it's good. It's a really funny movie. And of course, we have Baywatch. This was something a lot of people did not like. I feel like, because Baywatch was a show, but it was one of those cheesy shows back in the day where, like, guys would, literally, like, all guys would watch just because, girls were running in bikinis and their boobs were bouncing and shit like that. Like, that was that show, Baywatch. And I feel like they tried to, like, modernize Baywatch. And I like this movie a lot. Like, literally. I like Zac Efron. He's one of my favorite actors. So, I like Zac Efron, even from his High School Musical days. That's how I knew who Zac Efron was. And, of course, I love The Rock. I love Alexa Daddario. I think that's her name. Yeah, Alexa Daddario. And I don't know these other 2 actresses' names, and I just love this movie. It's very underrated. Not many people liked it, but I like this movie. I watch it occasionally. It's a funny movie. It's good. You can really tell that they tried to, like, reopen the Baywatch community, which they kind of did. I mean, I don't know if but Baywatch was always a goofy thing to begin with, and it was a good movie in my opinion. I thought it was good. I watch it occasionally, time to time. And then, of course, we had Ted, unrated. I love Ted. It was funny. This was a movie that I heard about, but I never watched it until I did. And then I was like, holy crap, this is actually really funny. To the point of, oh my God, it's such a funny concept that there's a talking teddy bear, but he's an inappropriate talking teddy bear. And the shit this teddy bear does, Ted, is so fucked. And, of course, it's Ted, and I forget his name. For some unknown reason, I haven't watched Ted in a while, but it's funny, it's good. It has I forget what that one girl's name is, but it's really good. It's really good. And I definitely recommend watching it if you haven't, but everybody's watched Ted at some point, and it's funny. I've never seen Ted 2. I need to, guys, funny enough is that literally I missed 3 movies, a part of my, my comedy, movie collection. So we're going to add this on. This is actually called the Laugh Out Loud 3 movie collection. It comes with, Just Go With It, with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, and then of course we have That's My Boy with Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg, and then of course we have Jack and Jill with Adam Sandler. Out of these 3 movies, I think That's My Boy and Jack and Jill are the best out of this package. I'm not a big fan of Just Go With It. It just came with it, and I was like, you know what? Who cares about just that? I bought it just because these 2 things were in it. I love these movies. I love That's My Boy. Bro, We can't lie, but literally in this movie, we all thought about getting with that one hot teacher that we had. At least I did. It sounds fucked up, but I did, because I had some cute teachers. Back in high school, I had like one cute teacher in high school that literally I was like, if only, you know what I mean? But like, it sounds so weird when you say it, but like, it's true though. It's like, that's literally, we cannot lie. Like, we've all been there. Um, but literally, I just love that movie. I love the concept of that. He ended up getting with his teacher. The teacher ended up getting pregnant. He ended up being rich because he slept with a hot teacher, and then him losing his money, him leaving his boy behind. His mom ends up going to the teacher that he ended up sleeping with ends up going to jail. He ends up getting rich for sleeping with the teacher and having getting the teacher pregnant, and he ends up getting rich because he slept with his teacher, and then he ends up losing his money because he spent it on stupid shit, and then he ends up losing his kid because his kid ends up running away from him and ends up having a different life, getting rid of his last name, getting rid of all ties to his father, but then his father comes back. I love that, and it's kind of like him trying to be back in his son's life when his son's about to get married. I just love the concept. It's great. Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg do an amazing job in this movie. It's just so funny and iconic. Everybody knows that's my boy. It's great. Along with Jack and Jill, it's so funny that Adam Sandler came up with an idea of literally having this idea where he plays like his twin sister almost. That's funny. That's they're supposed to be twins, and that's his twin sister, and he's playing his twin sister, which his name is Jill. And I love how his name is Jack. I love the concept of like Jack and Jill, like that. The rhyme Jack and Jill went up the hill, all that stuff. I just love the concept of this movie. It's super funny. There's a lot of funny scenes in here with Jill, and I just love how Adam Sandler does a great job of doing like this other personality of his sister. I just love how they did that. This movie's funny if you've never seen it. Again, it's very underrated. Not many people talk about this movie. It's very funny. If you're looking for a big laugh, this movie, I really recommend this movie. And again, I really recommend That's My Boy. Again, I don't even remember Just Go With It. I remember watching it one time, and I don't even remember liking it. But not gonna lie, guys, like this was a really good deal for me. That this was it was really cheap too. I think this was like $3 or $4, and I was like, you know what? Benefits is I get 2 movies I really enjoy out of 1 movie I don't really care about. So it's a really good thing. If you ever come across this bundle, get it. If you come across like one of these movies, get them, or if you come across both, get both. It's really good. Watch them if you haven't watched them. They're really good movies. Going on to Get Hard, with it stars Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. This movie is really great. I feel like very underrated. This movie is funny. The concept of a rich dude that ends up getting set up and is about to go to jail, and he ends up thinking that Kevin Hart's character, he ends up playing, he is a car washer, and for the garage of where this dude, where like Will Ferrell's character, Will Ferrell's garage that he ends up putting his car out, and then he goes to work, it ends up being like his employee's garage, and he ends up washing people's cars there, and he goes up to Kevin Hart's character and just thinks automatically he's been to jail, and he takes the opportunity to scam Will Ferrell's character to be like, oh, he thinks I went to jail. He said he'd pay me to send to get him ready for prison, even because Kevin Hart's character is washing rich people's cars, trying to make money at this parking lot. But people aren't giving him enough money because he wants to make enough money to send his daughter to a nice school. So I really do love the concept. He's Will Ferrell's dumbass is being stereotypical in this movie, thinking that Kevin Hart's character has been in prison, and Kevin Hart's character is scamming him to get the right amount of money that he wants to put his daughter through a nice school. So it's a very funny movie. I love this movie. It's great. Again, I feel like not many people have seen this movie, and they should. Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart are so freaking funny in this movie. It's great. Go check it out. Along with We're the Millers. Come on. Who has not seen We're the Millers? It's great. I think my nephew is the one that showed me this movie, and I was shocked he was able to see this movie because it had some very inappropriate content in this movie, whether it be, oh God, I can't believe I'm forgetting right now. What is it? Oh, come on. Will Poulter, he is actually going to be playing, why am I blanking? What is it? Oh, come on. It's so late, guys. It's like 2 in the morning. I'm trying to remember who's he playing in the MCU. Come on. Adam Warlock, Jesus. He's going to be playing Adam Warlock, and I cannot wait to see what he's going to be doing. And this was like the first movie I got introduced to him. He's really great at acting in this role. I love his I think his name is Kenny in this role, if I'm correct. It's just really funny, this movie. Again, with Jennifer Aniston, of course, with Jason Sudeikis. He actually plays Ted Lasso, which again, people tell me that series Ted Lasso is good. I gotta check it out. And of course, Emma Roberts. This is a really great movie. I love this movie. It's so funny, the concept of that he literally sells drugs. He gets beaten up, his drugs get taken, and then he has to go on this road trip to get all the drugs back for for this dealer he works for. It's really cool, this concept, and to get across the border so it doesn't look like he's getting drugs, he has to make up a fake family, and he makes up this fake family, and I really enjoy this movie. It's so funny. There's so many iconic lines from this movie. There's this one iconic line from the movie you might know where it's like, "Stay the F out of the Hot Topic," and he said, this dude says it to Emma Roberts' character because she ends up being goth, but she has to he gives her money to buy some clothes that don't make her look goth, and he says, "Stay the F out of the Hot Topic," and it's just a funny line. The movie's great. Definitely go check it out. It's definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. And that's pretty much it for the comedy movies. I just wanted to relay I do have those movies. Guys, I just realized that literally when I had my drawer just of random movies, again, I told you guys, a lot of them aren't like I had one drawer that was not organized, and I found a lot of comedy movies in here, and like action comedies and comedies. Here's another comedy movie, Grown Ups. I like this movie a lot better than Grown Ups 2. Of course, you can't go wrong with Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Chris Rock, David Spade, and of course, Rob Schneider. This is a really good movie. Again, when you have a whole bunch of like comedians and a whole bunch of like funny dudes together, it's making for a fun movie. And of course, it's just a really great movie. I really enjoy it, and that's why I own it on DVD. And of course, we have Rush Hour 1 and Rush Hour 2. Can't go wrong with Chris Rock and Jackie Chan. Literally the dynamic duo. These movies are just great and funny, and I just love the martial arts side of Jackie, and just the detective work that they have in this movie. It's a detective / comedy movie / action movie. Literally, you can't go wrong, and I just love this franchise of movies. And I love the third Rush Hour movie. Again, I don't know, I'd probably put it like Rush Hour 2, 3, then 1, honestly, because I really do love Rush Hour 3. Again, I love all the Rush Hour movies. I feel like they're equally all good, honestly, but I just love Rush Hour 3 so much. It's funny. Again, I wish we had a Rush Hour 4. Still holding out hope we might get one day. I love Rush Hour. It's so good. Going on with the next one, we have Kevin James, Paul Blart Mall Cop. Can't go wrong. Way better than the second one. Second one was very disappointing. This is a very underrated movie. I feel like not many people either have seen or like. I just love Paul Blart Mall Cop. I've always loved it. I love the dynamic of somebody that has, that just is very very underestimated, literally, and they try taking over a mall, and he's like, hell no, this is my mall, I have to protect it. It's very Home Alone if you think about it, but like if Home Alone took place in a mall, honestly, and if Kevin was a police, like a security guard, literally. This is literally what this movie is. I love this movie. It's great. Can't go wrong with Kevin James, Paul Blart Mall Cop. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. And then we, of course, have Get Smart. Come on, the case says it all. Get Smart is literally, if James Bond met, like, I want to say, like, if James Bond met funny bullshit, like, this is what this movie is. Like, it's funny. It's literally a James Bond parody, almost. It's great. Steve Carell, again, you can't go wrong. Anne Hathaway, can't go wrong. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, can't go wrong. And Alan Arcane, can't go wrong. Like, this, it's just great. Very underestimated. Very underrated. Literally not many people. Like, I know, my sister Bethany hasn't even seen this movie. And she loves funny movies. I'm like, how have you not seen this movie? I cry of laughter every time I see this movie. My favorite part of this movie, my favorite line in this movie is when Steve Carell is talking, they're all talking in their secret lair. And my favorite part is when they're using this the cone of I forget what it's called. It's like this bubble that's like over them, and so that way no one can hear what they're saying. And they're in their individual like force field like devices covering over their own force field bubbles, and they're trying to talk about what the mission is, and they can't hear each other. And there's this one scene where like they can't hear each other, and then after they're done using it, they're trying to say the bad guy's name. They're like, Kiersness, find Kiersness. And they're like, find Chris Kringle, fish sticks. It's such an iconic line in this movie. It's so funny. If you've seen this movie, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's such a funny movie. Get Smart is definitely a must watch. Go watch it. It's funny. It's great. It's definitely a family movie to watch with your family. It's just great. I love this movie. I feel like not many people talk about this movie. The next movie I want to talk about is Zohan. Again, this movie is fucked. The fact Adam Sandler played a character like this is very fucked. But it's such a funny movie. It's great. It's funny. I love this movie. My sister does not love this movie, Bethany. Again, you guys know my sister Bethany here on this channel. You might not have seen her, but you guys have heard from her. She hates this movie. I love this movie. I laugh every time I watch this movie. More people need to talk about this movie. It's funny. I like it. I enjoy it. And of course, it's Adam Sandler. You can't go wrong. Definitely go watch this if you haven't seen it. I think this is the original theatrical version too. He'll Blow You Away. It's so good. Zohan, can't go wrong. Go watch it. The next movie I want to talk about is Land of the Lost. Can't go wrong. Again, Will Ferrell. Great movie. It's a parody off of Journey to the Center of the Earth, literally. This is the funniest movie you'll ever see. Honestly, it's great. It's great. If you have not seen this movie, watch this movie. I love this movie. I'm gonna have to watch this movie sometime soon. I love this movie. It's funny. Again, you can't go wrong with Will Ferrell. Man's the goat. Man's the goat. Next thing we're gonna be talking about is Spy. Spy. Bro, this is so freaking funny. This is the best work Melissa McCarthy has done. I'm gonna be honest, the best work she's done. This movie is so freaking funny. Oh my god, I remember seeing trailers for this, and me and my sister didn't think it was that funny until I bought this movie on DVD and I was watching it in my basement. I was crying about the funny scenes that Jason Statham has in this movie. It is so freaking funny. I can't even explain it. I don't even want to say the funny lines in this movie. Just go watch this movie. Please go watch this movie. I definitely recommend it. If you're in for a spy, like, funny movie, definitely go check it out. I would definitely put this movie over this movie. Get Smart. But it's, like, in the same arena of funny spy movies. But, like, this movie is something special. Definitely underrated. Not many people talk about it. Best movie ever. Great cast, too, honestly. Melissa McCarthy, Jason Statham, Rose Bryan, I think her name is Rose Bryan, and Jude Law. Can't go wrong. Great movie. Definitely go check it out. Honestly, best movie. Great movie. And then we have Identity Thief. Unrated edition. A couple of funny scenes. Not the best movie. But I would say it's a good watch. I would just say it's not the best. There's a couple of funny scenes in here, but it's not the best, though. There's one funny thing that this movie is known for, and let's just say it involves punching throats. If you know, you know. Definitely, it is definitely at least a one-time watch. I recommend it. I don't even know why I have it. I think it's just because of the involving of punching throats in this movie, but it's a good watch. Definitely watch it. It's pretty good. I don't even know if this is recommended as, like, a comedy, but it's Pitch Perfect. I think the other reason why I got this is I thought the girls in it were cute, and I like the aspect of, like, the acapella and stuff, and I don't know. I own it. I'd say this one's a lot better than Pitch Perfect 3, but Pitch Perfect 2 is pretty damn good, but you can't beat Pitch Perfect 1. It's really good. I like it. The next thing we're going to talk about is Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Great movie, a great, revamp of the Jumanji series. I really enjoy it, and it's technically canon because they mention the original character, like they mention the original movie of Jumanji. So technically, this is a good continuation of the Jumanji franchise, especially the sequel is great. I don't own the sequel, unfortunately. I have to get it at some point, but the sequel was pretty damn good. But I just love this first one. First one's great. If you haven't seen it, watch it. If you didn't like the trailers, the movie's a lot better than what the trailers give you. It's definitely worth a watch. Go watch it. And then the next movie we have, I don't even know why I have it really in the actually no, I'm not gonna put it because I don't. Would you say Bad Boys a comedy? I don't even know. It's like an action comedy. I would put it like, it's kind of like Rush Hour action comedy. So I would definitely put it in here. Bad Boys for Life, way better than the previous Bad Boys movies. I think this is the best one out of all the other Bad Boys movies. This should have been talked about a lot more because they really went into this movie kicking ass in this movie. Great movie. I definitely recommend Bad Boys for Life. Go watch it. Good. Okay. So next well, actually, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to connect it to the other comedy movies. I'm going to connect it to it, and then I'm going to get back to the next, talking about the next layout of movies. So I'm going to end it.